Let's get it!
Broadcasting to you from a little grass shack in the middle of the Pacific.
Live in the place to be.
Well, they're actually in the Bay Area.
Yeah!
But they are the premier Pacifica show that shines a spotlight on positive Pacific Islanders.
You listening to the sound.
Role models coming brown every Thursday night at 6.
East to west, we getting hurt.
Brought to you by Pacifica by Design. It's the iconic FICA podcast with your hosts, Naki and Carl.
Well, it's not Naki and Carl. It's just Carl today. Naki is, so just give you an update with Naki. Naki was actually in the hospital, and she's good now. She's home and doing much better. But our producer and also, I believe, caretaker of the Moley house, Timena, has deemed Naki unfit to participate in the show today. So I'm solo. I'm going to take us through season 8, episode 3 of the FICA podcast. Today we have my intro, we have my check-in. We're going to talk a little bit about the NFL. We got our 2 Super Bowl teams picked, and we have AMU, all my Usos, in the back half. The back half probably going to start here in about 15 minutes, as there is not anybody to bounce ideas off of. Naki is out. I hope she's probably watching, even though she's not supposed to be. So if you come across Naki in social media and you see her, you can tell her to take it easy, because I think she's having a hard time doing that. So maybe we can give her a little peer pressure and love, and let her know that we care and we want her to rest like she's doing this evening. So I am actually that's the check-in for Naki. Naki is home and doing better, and probably will be back next week. So there's Naki's check-in. I'm in Casa Grande, Arizona. I've been here for a couple weeks, and I will be going home on Saturday, getting home on Sunday. So been a few weeks away from home. It'll be good to get back. So one of the good things about Naki not being here, and there's not many, but one of them is nobody's here to defend the 49ers. So I don't know how far this will go, but I thought about how this is going to go. So we have our 2 Super Bowl teams. We have the Chiefs and the 49ers, a rematch. And the 4th out of 5 years, I think Patrick Mahomes is in the Super Bowl. So the Niners win the NFC, and the Chiefs win in the AFC, and they will meet in Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, not this Sunday, but next Sunday. So, you know, I know there's a bunch of Niner fans watching, and I'm actually going to say I do hope you guys win, because I just put the Steelers won 4 Super Bowls a long time ago, and the NFL told them that they had to slow down. They were winning too many championships. So they put us on hold for decades and waited for everybody to catch up. And then the Niners and the Cowboys, I think, finally caught up. And then the Steelers won number 5 and number 6. And once again, the Steelers have been told we're on hold until somebody else catches up. So hopefully, I'm hoping that the Niners do win the Super Bowl and defeat the Chiefs. And I hope that can free the Steelers up so we can stop throwing games and throwing the season. And we can get back to winning Super Bowls, because that's the only reason we're not in the Super Bowls. We've been told we have to lose. So I would never get away with saying that if Naki were here. So I thought I would just go ahead and take my shot. While Naki isn't here to defend herself, but actually I am rooting for I'm rooting for you all to win, so that we can go ahead and get on with our franchise and winning. So there's the update there. I don't know, it's not really Pacific Islander centric, but I'm not going to go into any of the details. But if you are not aware of the scandal that's going on with the WWE and Vince McMahon, if you're brave and I see CJ Trufuli says, "Go Niners." CJ, you misspelled no. So if you haven't seen the train wreck of a scandal that's going on with the WWE, there are obviously a lot of Samoans, big ties to the Pacific Islander community with professional wrestling, and there is I can't even begin to describe the level of ickiness that's going on right now with Vince McMahon and some allegations that were made by a former employee of the WWE. So if you don't know, go check it out. If you already know, you know what I'm talking about, and you know how bad that is. And I think that this could affect the legacy of the McMahons in professional wrestling, because I think people are going to remember this particular scandal as he exited the WWE. So it's big news there. A lot of things are going to come out now. I think that now somebody has spoken up. I think that we'll see a lot of other people coming forward. So that's a little piece of an update there. I think we're still waiting for All My Usos is going to be here in the back half of the show, talking about their Famalusi program, and it's been a really cool ride with AMU to see how far AMU's come. And I know that we're going to talk more about the Famalusi program when they come on, but to see how far this organization has come, and being a truly community-based organization, I think that especially in the Bay Area, it's inspiring to see how far Cree and her program and her organization have been able to come. So we're going to spend some good time with Cree and her team in the back half. We're going to go through some of our community announcements. I'm going to be doing these alone, so I don't have Naki to step in, but we'll go ahead and go through some of those, and we'll get back to Cree and team when she comes in. So we're going to go ahead and start our community announcements. I'm going to add that. So I am going to go ahead and go with, boy, it's much easier when Naki's here. So experience the return of Season 8 for the 2024 Stag Elites Big Man Camp at City College of San Francisco. Kickstart your off-season training with Stag Elite every Saturday, running now to June 29th from 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Secure your spot by registering at stagelite.org. Don't miss the opportunity to elevate your game. So Stag Elite's done some amazing things. I was at several of the camps last summer. In Sacramento, in San Jose. It was inspiring to see Sam and his team out there getting the young ones involved. So if you got a young one, especially in a big man position, Stag Elite has a program for you. So we're going to go to the next one, and this is the Pacifica Choir. You can immerse yourself in harmonious melodies of the Siu Fofonga Ole Moana. It's a Pacifica Choir taking place every Tuesday and Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. at the Samoan Community Development Center in San Francisco. To register, scan their QR code or visit SCDC's page for more information. And every week we've got a new or different program or something that Patsy Tito and her team are involved in. So really cool to see, get out there and see what they've got with their Pacifica Choir. So we have a good music open night. It's happening on Saturday, February 3rd from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m., hosted by the talented Phil Alapati. Space is limited, so be sure to RSVP to secure your spot. For more details, tap the link in their bio. And this is one of those things that Phil does a good job of holding his brand and holding what he wants this program to be. And so the location is not announced. It's not something that you can just pop in. You need to go through the right process, register, and be part of that. All right, what do we have next? We have family trip. So bowling edition. Join all my Usos for Famalosi. Bowling edition. All My Usos has family trip bowling edition on February 3rd from 2 to 5 p.m. It's open to all ages. It's absolutely free for San Francisco residents. Again, space is limited and you must register by today. So click the link in their bio. Just one more amazing program that Cree and her team at All My Usos are doing. What do we got next? We have Precious Water. Join Infomaulek for Precious Water with Roland Castro and Maria Hernandez May. Discover how drinking water is collected in the San Francisco Bay Area and learn about the impact of natural disasters like Typhoon Mawar. impacted access to clean water in Guahan. February 4th, right around the corner, 6 to 7 p.m., and February 5th, 12 to 1 p.m. Secure your spot by registering through the link in infomaulec.us bio. Glad to be involved with that. So we have a youth summit coming up. We Are Oceania. Their annual Micronesian Youth Summit is happening February 17th, 2024 at the Hawaii Convention Center. Hello to the 808 and our listeners in Hawaii. We aspire to empower our youth through workshops, discussions, and other fun cultural activities so that they can explore their dream strengths and potential. Parents and legal guardians, if you wish to sign up your children, youth, please call our WOW, W-A-O, Youth Empowerment Center at area code 808-913-1364, extension 6, or you can register them online or scan the QR code on the flyer. I think we're going back to all my usos for Famalosi, and that is what you're going to learn about on this show. Just after we get done with these announcements, Building a Better Mind and Body, free class Tuesdays, and I said free class Tuesdays from 5:30 to 7 p.m. They'll be teaching Tahitian dance, song, and drumming while expanding your knowledge of mental health resources. Limited space is available, so it's free, and that means it's going to fill up. Limited space. Secure your spot now by clicking the link in their bio. Now we're moving on to Luminati. Samoan Solutions presents their Luminati Education Gift and Luminati Art Awards. San Francisco Bay Area students of Samoan descent in grades 6 through 12 can apply for financial support towards education in mixed media art. Check the flyer for all the qualifications. Deadline to apply is Friday, April 19th, 2024. Lots of time, but do it now. Apply today through the link in their bio. Follow Samoan Solutions for more updates. And last but not least, Naki's not here, so we're going to honor her by talking about food, specifically an event for food. Big Goose Radio invites you to the 4th Annual Pacifica Food Festival 2024. Join them on Saturday, July 27th at Mount Tahoma High School in Tacoma, Washington. Enjoy food and retail vendors, information booths, and captivating performances. Stay tuned for more exciting artist announcements. Follow Big Goose Radio on all platforms for the update. That's all we have for the flyers, but a program that's near and dear to Naki and my heart is Journey to Empowerment, J2E. That takes place tomorrow, first Friday of the month. So tomorrow at Le Mauta, Samoan Solution Space on 833 Mailer Road in Burlingame. I believe they start at 6. Food's at 6 and programming starts at 6:30. So if you got time in your Friday night, jump on down there. It goes quick. Food is great. Company's amazing. Journey to Empowerment tomorrow night. Or no, yes, tomorrow night. I don't have a flyer, so I don't have anything to read from. So that's our community announcements. And I believe we have our people in place. So I'm going to introduce, look at that. Look at that. We got people with us. All right. Welcome. I'm going to introduce the amazing Christine Mawia, who I was talking about earlier before she came on. Christine is a resilient and compassionate advocate dedicated to uplifting underrepresented communities and giving a voice to the voiceless. After the devastating loss of her beloved husband, JT Mawia, to stomach cancer in 2018, Christine has transformed her grief into a powerful force for change. Continuing her late husband's nonprofit, All My Usos, Christine has created a platform that provides essential health screenings, mental health support, and vital resources to those in need. Through her own journey of healing, she's become a beacon of strength, offered solace and guidance to others grappling with similar struggles. Despite her own hardships, Christine remains an active and committed member of the community, consistently working towards the betterment of others. With her passion for advocacy and her deep empathy for the needs of underrepresented communities, Cree is a force to be reckoned with in making a lasting impact and creating a more equitable and compassionate world. Welcome, you amazing lady.
Hi, Carl. Thank you for having me. You make me sound so special.
Well, we know how we all are. Nobody's going to say it for themselves, so that's why we're here. That's why PBD's here. We also have Jessica Ponce, is a proud program coordinator for All My Usos, leading the charge with Famalosi, Building a Better Mind and Body. and a dynamic youth program. Their mission is twofold: to offer avenues for physical activity and to foster mental health awareness and support among young people. On a personal note, she is a first generation Filipina Vietnamese American and is incredibly proud of this multifaceted identity. Welcome, Jessica.
Thank you for having me, Carl. I'm glad to be
Is
here.
it Ponce or Ponce?
Ponce. Yes.
Ponce. Okay.
Thank
Got to
you.
get that right. All right. And is Tina with us? Tina
Yes.
is with us. Tina Sadaraka is a first generation Samoan American. She's the oldest of three girls and is currently in grad school pursuing her master's in social work in order to become a therapist and serve the Pacific Islander community. That's awesome. MSW on the way. To help address the mental health that exists within our culture, roots, and spread compassion and empathy to communities impacted by any form of systemic oppression or acts. She's a wife, sister, auntie, mama, and a PK, a pastor's kid. Welcome, Tina.
Thanks, Carl.
Awesome. I know all the guests always hate when we do the intros. They're like, "Oh my gosh, they're talking about me," but these are what our viewers need to see. They need to see people like yourselves, and everything that I'm looking in here it's all community involvement, community support, helping people that need help. So we take some time and make sure that we get your name and what you're about out there. Probably I'll go to Cree, and I'll just go to Cree. We know that we've had AMU on. We always say this every time she's on. Our very first show. This is season 8, episode 3. Season 1, episode 1 was with AMU. So we started with them, and they came on, and we had a horrible show. And we had a great show because they were on it. But Naki and I we had no idea what we were doing, and they were so patient. So it means a lot. AMU's in our heart. Talk to us about out of all the things you're doing. We're here to talk about Famalosi. What is the program about for people that don't know what it's about? Give us the hype.
Yes. So the last time we were here, we didn't have staff, but now that we have brought on program coordinators, we have Jessica and Tina. Jessica is in charge of Fa'amalosi, so I'll let her take over this part and talk about the program that she's in charge of.
Yes. Thank you, Cree. Yes, Fa'amalosi is Building a Better Mind and Body is a youth serving program where we want to bridge the gap of physical health and mental health. And so while we are aiming to bring more physical activity to our youth members in the community, we also are using it as a conduit to bring mental health education, teach them about the resources and the services that are available. Oftentimes, mental health isn't talked about enough or even considered something to maintain. It's usually just our physical health, but mental health is just as important and just as valuable to our well-being. And so with this Odyssey, we are hoping to increase that in our community among the youth and with families and parents. And so that is what our program really is aiming to do. And I am excited to be part of this team. I think when Cree came up to me about it, immediately the first thing was I need to somehow get involved. And so I'm so thankful for her for allowing me to be part of this process and taking this and sharing it with the community. And I think we've done months of planning with our AMU team, but also other instructors that are part of our pilot program. We're putting all our love into it, and we're just so excited to bring it out to the community soon.
Awesome. I think those are getting involved in programs from the beginning of it. You know what I mean? Like the first, people can emulate, people can, create programs that look like it, but to come up with something first and put that product or that program out there is special. And so Cree, there's a different program coming out from AMU. Like Naki and I talked about this, like they're doing what? So you're moving so fast, and obviously the young ladies that are on with us, having talented people and staff to to build your programs is a big piece of a of a healthy organization and a growing organization. Um, Talk to us a little bit about how you found the amazing ladies that are on. How did they become part of the AMU team?
Yes, yes. So Jessica, she actually came in as an intern over the summer through the LEAP program down out of LA. And she came in as an intern. We welcomed her in and we didn't want to let her go. So we're so blessed to have her. She left for a little bit and then she kind of came back and just jumped right in. So I'm blessed to have her. She is a graduate with her bachelor's degree and she's also going back to school to get her master's. So we're hoping that she stays on board with us and while she's in the process of that and supports us with our mental health and everything. And then Tina, we put a call out for a position that was open and she applied and now we have her on board, which we're so excited. I'm so excited and I can't express enough to them that I'm so appreciative to them to be on board to help build AMU and just to kind of support our community in a way that we need support. She also has her bachelor's degree and is going back to school currently for her master's to be a therapist. So I think they're both aligned with what we would like to do and what we would like to offer in our communities here in San Francisco and the Bay Area. So I'm just excited to have them. I'm so thankful that they're being patient. We are building and growing together, and they're a huge part of that while we're working alongside of other organizations such as SCDC and FATASI and PBD and our collaborative with PER. We're just blessed. We are truly blessed.
Bringing the young ones in with paper like they've got. So but it means something in terms of being able to do programming. We can do the work, we're probably able to do the work, but you need the document to, I don't know, to get the certification to be doing the work, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
doing the community work is a big deal. And having our young ones get the degrees and have the accreditation to do that. Great way to build a program. So this might have been, I'm going to just filter these through Cree and she can farm these out as she goes. What thoughts or energy caused the program to be created? So every program fills a spot within the community, right? What was the driving force behind creating Famalosi?
So it was through SCDC and Perth with the funder being DCYF. We went out, we surveyed the community in San Francisco through a Kapasa Fituu survey, which was through SCDC and with other local CBOs that we partnered up with them and helped them um, survey the community. And when we went and talked to the community, we came out with a lot of things that we heard them, we heard their voice. So then we came back to the table, a report was created, which was the Kapasa Fituu. And when DCYF decided to pour some money into SCDC, they were so kind to reach out to the organizations and there's like, hey, we have this small bucket of monies that we want to put and do something with mental health. So with that in mind, I wanted to keep in mind the parents and the families that we talked to when we went out to door and talked to these families. Because, when we did the survey, I know a lot of times surveys come into the communities and they get the information and then they leave and we never see them again. But I know that most of us wanted to, or if not all of us, we didn't want to just go make noise. We wanted to come back, go to the funders and say, hey, this is what our community said. We need help. We need some support. So I'm excited. I was thinking that with the Fa'amalosi program, it would be a nice way to get some physical activity, just to promote healthiness and to incorporate the mental health piece, because I think a lot of our families are struggling. A lot of our youth, our kids are struggling with mental health, and to put it in a way with they can learn Tahitian and drumming and have a mental health. I just kind of feel like it's an all the way around, beneficial for our community. We also have a clinician who's Tone Vi with SCDC, who's on board with this program as well. So they're going to have him, Dr. Patsy Tito as well, who's alongside with the program, that if they need to talk to an actual clinician, we have them. And then Jessica and her team, which is Hui Tarava, they're going to work on the other aspect of it with the Tahitian and the drumming and just different things like that. And Jessica's in charge of just bringing it all together.
Yeah. And then also we have Henrietta Fonua, who's the health and wellness engagement coordinator. And so she and I have been working along with Tone
Yes.
to kind of build this curriculum. And we're very excited. I think we're excited to show the kids what resources are available and to, at the end of the day, let them know that they aren't alone and it's okay to be vulnerable and to feel these things, but just don't do it alone. We have our community, we have each other to lean on, and to strengthen each other. And so,
Yeah.
yes.
So is there, I guess that this is, sometimes there's a piece of the program, right? When we do a program, usually there's a piece either that I'm responsible for. Sometimes it's not the piece that I'm responsible for, but there's a piece of the program that I'm excited about, right? Sometimes I'm able to run that piece, and other times it's Naki or Timena, but I get excited sometimes about certain pieces. Are there pieces of the program specifically that you're really excited to teach or to share, or to share that space with the community? And I'll throw that out to anybody. If there's a piece of the program you're really passionate about, share that with us.
Mhm. I'm going to go ahead and say that the one thing that I'm really excited about for this program and for our youth to kind of get involved is that the relationships that they will build through this physical activity with each other, and just the mental health education added to it, that is something so important to me because I've had the opportunity to, I've had the privilege and to grow up playing sports. And I would say that those relationships that I've had with those friends and those opportunities have gotten to where I am today. And so if I can help by having this program out for them and available to them, maybe they can, grow and develop themselves in that physical activity or find their niche or find their group, and, build their character up because the program is structured towards middle school students. And so they're very young. They're at that stage of where they're trying to figure out what they like to do, and kind of um, find their individuality. And so if this program can push them in a positive direction in a way that makes them feel physically, mentally supported, then that's at the end of the day, the one thing that I'm super excited for them to realize and to experience with this program. So.
Awesome. I can see why Cree grabbed you back after you left the first time. How about you, Tina?
I had to come back.
Tina, is there a piece of the program that really excites you?
So for me, so Olanga is a different piece of AMU that I'm really excited for. Olanga is basically another program that stands for Opportunities to Live and Grow for our AINA. And we work with, what's it called? Basically community leaders who are also known as the peer health leaders. And as of right now, they're currently enrolled to get certified to be identified as community health workers. And the purpose of Olanga is to, they have a nutrition education program that bridges healthier habits and food within our communities, our homes, and our overall lifestyle. They also do Mea Alofa gift box distribution, which they had done during the holidays and was able to bless, I think, over 50 families with the Mea Alofa box. And again, with the peer health leaders, I am collaborating together. I think there's a total of 9 of them. Cree is one of the peer health leaders, and who is also in school working on getting to be certified as a community health worker. And it's about addressing mental health and the grief and the loss that exists within our community, and being able to identify mental health. And we all know that mental health comes in different forms. So if I am grieving, or expressing different variations of mental health, it's not going to be the same as how Cree is going to grieve, or how Jessica is going to grieve, or how you, Carl, are going to grieve. So we have to, it's just understanding that mental health comes in different shapes and different forms, and bringing these types of conversations within our communities, especially our Pacifica communities, because most of the time, at least I speak for myself, mental health is swept under the rug, and it's not really talked about, or folks will just say, just go to God and pray. And this is not, to attack anyone who says that, but I think there should be more spaces that involve conversating about our emotions, about how we're feeling. And then, because depression could really hit to the core. And sometimes, I feel like maybe our parents, at least for my parents, like it's hard to understand sometimes what depression looks like. So having spaces like this, that's what I'm really excited for, is to bring more conversations, bring mental health, um, just the talks about it within our community. And it doesn't have to just be the younger generations that know about mental health. It could also pertain to, like, folks who are over 18 years old. So that's something that I'm really excited for, as well as family trips. That's another segment in AMU, just being able to provide free services. So this Saturday, sorry, Carl, if I'm talking too much.
No.
He's taking over the show, Carl.
I'm so sorry. Look, let me just say, if you haven't registered for our family trip, go and register. We got free bowling happening this Saturday. And it's for families, open to anyone, to be able to come and, bowl with other families within our communities, and to get some free food, and just, fellowship with other folks within our community. Okay. That's enough for me.
This is the great thing about it, right? Is like, we want to know about your programs. We want to know about you. You know what I mean? So this is no apologies needed. You're making my job easy. I think of all the programs that AMU's doing, I can see a podcast or something. So, and I'm going to go sideways a little bit with the conversation, but this talk of mental health and taking care of ourselves and those kind of things, to me, and I'm an older person, this seems new. Like, is this discussion new? Is it because I'm around so many people that are clinicians, practitioners, community health workers, you know what I mean, budding MSWs, you know what I mean? Is it because of the people that I'm around, or is this a movement in the Pacific Islander communities where we're actually beginning to be more accepting to have these conversations? And I'll start with Cree, but I do want to hear from everybody, because I love the conversation about that Tina was leading about, how we grieve and how we deal with stress and those kind of things. And it just seems like it's not easy, but it's easier to at least have the conversation nowadays than maybe it was 10 or 15 or 20 years ago. Cree, your thoughts?
Yeah, I kind of feel like it is new. I don't think mental health is new. It's always been there, the issues and everything surrounding it, but it wasn't as talked about out in the open as it is now. I would say about in 2018, when my husband passed, and SCDC was offering those classes for us to kind of come together. And you remember the class, Carl, that we would all come together with Neil and just kind of chat about our week and our day and how things were going. And during that time, my husband had passed, and it was really tough. So I would come to the class and I wouldn't say much, but I would just sit there, and I would find comfort in knowing that I wasn't the only one that was going through things, right? And everyone else was going through some tough things in life, but to be able to come together and talk about it in a safe space was different to me. It's not as easy. Our parents would just be like, suck it up, kind of sweep it underneath the rug, and you're expected to move forward. But by organizations providing safe spaces for people to come to, is making it us more comfortable to be able to talk about our mental health. And I will say that I'm probably number one person who does not take care of ourselves first. It's always everyone else, and we always tend to worry about us last. So yeah.
Yeah. So I want to go back to Tina next, but in speaking of not taking care of ourselves and always working, Cree, um, it's I just saw Naki in the chat. So if you're in the chat, give Naki a hard time. Tell her to rest. Tell her that I can do one show by myself. Actually, I'm going to catch hell for I was talking about the Niners. So I know I'm
Oh
already in
man.
trouble. So.
Oh man.
uh, so Tina, what do you think? Do you think that this is a new, kind of a I don't know, a developing trend where we're starting to talk more about our feelings and grieving and all these kind of things? Because you know, you think about some of the things we are a big part of our culture is mourning, like funerals, lave laves. Those are that's a piece of the culture, but we all grieve differently, right? So if it's not formatted that way, having those discussions seems to be healthy. But do you see this as kind of an opening field for PIs?
I most definitely think that it's an opening field, like it's being brought to the light a lot more. Just bringing that awareness to the space. Similar to Cree, like I feel like mental health has always been around. But I think for our community, our PI community, we haven't been able to put a language to mental health. Especially if there are traditions where, like, folks are using the language, just suck it up and get over it, push through. We're perseverers. We're known as warriors. That's something that I grew up with. Just if you're feeling hurt or down, suck it in and keep pushing until you can't push no more. But the issue with that is, like, there are these emotions that are dwelling within me, even though like those moments have passed. Maybe we're like a week later, I'm still feeling the same way that I felt when the moment happened, but not being able to talk about it or speak about it with, um, you know, folks that I see as like my caregivers, my parents, the people that I see that are supposed to support me through it all. If they don't know the language of mental health or how to um, process the entire thing, it's going to be hard for them to even understand. So being able to just, equip yourself or, branch out to other communities, because, there's other communities who are also suffering grief and loss. And then we could be able to see that intersectionality with, cross culturally, with, especially within communities of colors. I feel like there's a lot of trauma that exists within communities of color, and being able to relate, hey, I feel that same way. And you may not look like me, but, we may share the same color. Okay, let's talk about our grief. And then us being able to have that support, we could bring it back within, our own space of, Pacifica space, sis, to be able to equip our other loved ones about, mental health in general. But I don't think that it's new. I just think that we haven't been able to find a language to bridge mental health and then within our communities. So yeah. Okay, Carl.
Well spoken, well spoken. I think you're right. Like, how do we phrase it in a language or a way that we understand, that
Yeah.
we can connect to or we can relate to?
Yeah.
Well put, well put. Jessica, how about you? Do you think this is something that's becoming more readily spoken about? A discussion that might not have been as easily started maybe 10 years ago or so.
Yes, absolutely. I think, to echo the ladies before me, mental health education within our communities is fairly new. And I think that spotlight mostly came from after the pandemic, during the pandemic, when everyone was back home and, they didn't have those social interactions. And so they were oftentimes having to cope with their own things by themselves. And I think after the pandemic, as different movements were going on, it became apparent to where there was more of a fight to bring in those mental health resources and education and talk about, the stigmas that are in communities that relate to Black, Indigenous, and people of color. It's often, I mean, as Cree said, like growing up, it's we were told to always, sweep it under the rug or just, get over it. It was something that was perceived as weakness. And we were told to toughen up and kind of strengthen. And I think that is mostly rooted because of how our society is structured by oppressors and how we had to navigate through those obstacles. We're always told to work twice as hard, but we're only received half the credit. But I think as after what the pandemic has shown in recent years, we can see more communities fighting for our recognition, for fighting for our place at the table in different conversations. And I think one of the conversations that's being brought up is our mental well-being, and to create a different norm that is about talking about our mental health and being vulnerable and being able to talk to each other about our vulnerabilities and our struggles, not as a weakness, but as a way to come together and kind of strengthen each other. And so I definitely agree that mental health, the conversations are fairly new, especially within our communities and our cultures. And that's a stigma that I see is being fought on day after day. And I'm really glad to be part of that and kind of grow with that and see how that changes in the coming years. So yeah, I'm excited.
Awesome. Yeah, I think the discussion is more readily had today than it was yesterday, and hopefully tomorrow it's even easier than today. Programs like this is going to be, some of the driving factors of how it becomes more and more acceptable. We're going to lighten it up a little. Naki did have a hand in the questions being asked, and this might have been one of her questions. We all have our guilty pleasure foods. What's your ultimate comfort food that never fails to lift your spirits after a long day or when you need it? And let's start with Jessica.
I am going to say my comfort food, because it's so quick and easy. It's a simple eggs, rice, and spam. Those three, no matter any time of day, whether it's like late night snack, early morning, or like in between meals, it's my go-to. It's so comforting, and I think it always reminds me of home and my family. And so I think that holds a very special place in my heart for comfort food.
Ooh, I like it. Not only is comfort food, it's breakfast food, and I
Yes.
can eat breakfast any time of day. So I knew about spam before I lived in Hawaii. So I obviously had it before, but after living in Hawaii, oh my gosh, that meal right there is, I could eat too much of that. Definitely do that. How about you, Tina? Comfort food when you had a long day, or and this is what we shouldn't be doing, right? We shouldn't be stress eating, but we all do it, right? So, and I'll say, I have one too. But when you need, a little comfort food, what does Naki call it? Guilty pleasure.
So to add on to Jess's spam, rice, and eggs, I got my Siamese right. Look, with one of this added to Jessica's guilty pleasure, look, it's over. Game over. Like this, look, you can never go wrong with Siamese added to any food.
Nice. Oh my gosh, Naki would be proud of us for this show. I see her in the chat right now. She's cheering us on. Oh my gosh, that is beautiful. She had it in hand, ready to go. Oh, I gotta pause and say hi, Auntie. Naki's mom and my aunt is saying hello, so I have to say hello. Checking in from San Diego, so thank you for joining, Auntie.
Hi, Auntie.
Miss Mawia.
Yes.
Comfort food, guilty pleasure.
Yes, for me, it's homemade meatballs with homemade gravy over rice and onions. I haven't eaten it in a while, but I loved my mom's when she was here. But yeah, I love hamburger meat and I love it meatballs, onions, gravy over rice. Homemade gravy though. the flour,
Homemade.
the oil, the water.
The brown gravy or the white
Yes,
gravy?
yes,
Brown
brown.
gravy. Yeah. Woo. Yeah,
Mhm.
now my new comfort food is going to be scrambled eggs, rice, and spam. Like I don't know how that wasn't mine, but I love breakfast foods,
Yeah.
and the French toast, the pancakes, the
Yep.
waffles,
Yep.
rice, all the bad stuff, all the carbs that I shouldn't be eating. But um, I, I can eat breakfast any time of day. I
Uh-huh.
could, especially now that I'm probably going to have scrambled eggs, spam, or rice tonight. Um, all right, so that was a good break it up a little bit. So this is going to go to Cree, and Cree can throw it to whoever she wants. Our people have known to, let's see, procrastinate maybe, wanted to do something but didn't sign up in time. Is this a multiple cohort program? Like, so if people, let's just say there was a Polynesian person who meant to sign up but then didn't sign up, and missed out on this round. Do you see this as, and if it's not already, as possibly something that you continue to do?
Yes. So we actually are in the talks of starting or having three more cohorts the next fiscal year. Maybe not Tahitian, but I can turn over the conversation to Jessica, but we are working on three more cohorts and she can probably take it from here because she's working on some things.
Nice.
Yes, we are. I am in the works of securing future cohorts, and we want to change it up, bring in different types of physical activity, things that the community hasn't really seen. I definitely think sports is a big thing. I'm a little biased. I was a golfer for a long time, so I'm really trying to secure that down. And bringing golf knowledge to the community because golf just the opportunities and the friendships that I've gotten from that are so dear to my heart that I just want to share it with everyone else. But we have that in the works for future cohorts. So this isn't the only time that Model C will be um, going on. And so we hope that this continues year in and year out, just bringing more education to the kids.
Yep. Yep.
Awesome. And Tina, is Olanga, is that an ongoing like a, not a perpetual program, but a continuing program, or is it cohort based?
So it's not cohort based, but it is continuing. So February 22nd, y'all lock it in. We're gonna have the first half of the peer health leaders are gonna be leading a healing space and tying it in with the game night. So I'll have more information to be shared later on. But there's going to be a February event, a March event, and then an April event, which will be a cohort for I think 6 weeks. Is that correct,
Yes.
Cree? Yep.
Yes.
For 6 weeks, and that will be in April. But the February and the March one is open to everyone who's available to come through for the event. But February 22nd, I only know the date. So if you're available on a Thursday evening, slide through for game night and just to see what our peer health leaders have to offer the community and tie in game night and healing. Yep.
Right, right. And I believe in April for our cohort, that would be our healing circles.
Wow, you got an all-star team. Great. I'm listening to this, and I'm listening to the enthusiasm and energy that the ladies have for what they're doing. And it's like literally there is a new program coming out of AMU. Like every month, there's we're going to do this, and then we're going to do that. It's amazing to see, and especially to think that it got the genesis of it was a barbecue. Like it was like, what can grow? What can things become? How much of a vision do you have to conceive something that, what could it be? And sometimes it grows even beyond what we could have seen. Cree, is that the way that you feel with AMU, that this is, could you ever have thought about this in maybe 2015 or 16, that this might come to pass?
No, I didn't. And especially when in 2015, when my husband was going through his chemo and everything at that time, I had no idea, because at that time I didn't experience the grief that I did in 2018. So it was a different version of me then, I think, I want to say. But in 2015, it was just a group of guys just coming together in support of my late husband, and his battle and his journey with battling stomach cancer. And from that, and the group that surrounded him, and the circle, and all his brothers that he grew up with, and those who decided to rally around him, I don't think anyone had any idea on where we would be 7 years later.
Yeah. And each year or 2 year slot is just exponential growth, like what you were 2 years ago compared to where you are now and where you're going.
Yeah.
It's inspiring to see, as another CBO sharing space with you in the Bay Area, to see what you're doing and your team is doing, and to listen to these ladies tonight and hear how enthusiastic they are about the programs and about the impact they're going to have on the community. It's inspiring.
Yeah.
It is. So this is the last question. It's kind of two-parted. Naki and I have, this is both of us, so I can't blame this on Naki. I have a hand in here too. We have the sick fascination with the discussion that we had with Cree about, I think it was the AMU barbecue. I'm not sure what it was, but it had to do with Soma doing the worm. So we want to know, any of the instructors, can they do the worm in the last of the, is that part of the dance moves for Famalosi?
That'll be the closing. That'll be the closing. We'll invite the whole board with Soma leading the worm. It'll be an eye roll.
Nice. Yes. I just remember Naki on the show doing this the whole time. She's like, Soma's going to do the worm, right?
So we'll have our board lead, and then we'll follow.
Uh-huh. Nice.
I don't know about following, Cree. The only jiggle and wiggle y'all gonna get is just from me laying there, okay? Because I moving.
So the movement's limited. Okay, we got it.
It's limited to jiggles and wiggles in one space.
We were trying to come up with questions, and I was joking. I said, "Yeah, ask us. We'll ask," because we were coming up with questions to send, to what we were going to ask. And then I was joking, and I said, "Hey, we'll ask if someone's going to do the worm." And Naki was like, "Yes, we're going to ask that. Ask that." So Soma, I don't know if you're listening, but you're getting signed up for the worm again.
Right.
So really looking forward to the program. And I'm glad that Famalosi got to be, revealed to the community if people didn't already know. But I want to throw it back to Cree and, Jessica or Tina. Anybody else? Anything else to say about the program or shout outs?
I'll let the ladies go first.
I am going to shout out the Fa'amalosi team. We've been planning this since, I'd say, October, November, mostly since November. And it's great to see that things are coming to fruition. I think the program will start in March. And so as every day goes by, we're just excited to see our work be brought out to the community, and we're just excited to get involved. It's been 3 months now in the making, and so I think we are bubbling with excitement, and we are just ready for the community to know what we have to offer and welcome them with open arms, and just enjoy community together. So
thank you, Jessica.
Jess, can you briefly say who's part of the team who you've been working with?
Yes. So from Huitarava Tahitian Dance Company, we have Angelique Banang and Justin Atangan, who are going to be teaching a style of Tahitian dance, as well as the drumming, and as well as some of the language and song that's associated with Tahitian dance. And then we have Tom Va'i, our mental health clinician with SCDC, as well as Henrietta Fonua, who is the health and wellness engagement coordinator with per. And so I'm so thankful that these four are have joined our team and are just as excited as Cree and I are to get Malosi to the community.
Thank you.
Any shouts out, Tina?
I'm a shout out to AMU and as well as like the partners that we partner with. Just being able to like, and also FICA. I really like the name FICA, by the way. Like it hits the soul, but in a good way, because when people think of FICA Kala, they're like, but you know, I really love the changing of the meaning. But anyways, back to shout outs. I shout out everyone who is willing to talk about mental health and bring it back to the space that you know that they live in, whether it's at home, whether it's at school, whether it's at work, whatever space that they're in. Just their willingness to be able to bring mental health to the light. And this work is not easy. So I really do, with the short amount of time that I've been with AMU, just being able to see the love, the compassion, and the empathy that comes from the team, and their willingness to do this community work, because I call them like foot soldiers. They're like the foot soldiers of the community, being able to go out and you know obtain these resources, because they do exist. But I think that there's just a lack of knowledge that exists within our community to know that they do exist. So having people like Cree, like Jess, and even the behind teams, being able to you know secure grants and funding to make this work happen. The shout out is for y'all, and thank you for having us, Carl.
Oh yeah. So, Cree, before you go, you have a budding host of a podcast. So don't run FICA off the air when she gets her own show.
Let's see. I truly want to thank thank you, Carl and Naki, for this opportunity of inviting us. You're always inviting us on with open arms and welcoming us. Thank you so much. I also want to thank Levalasi Loyan and Sarah Wong King Tanuvasa. Without these two ladies just supporting AMU from A to Z, I don't think we would be as far as we are today. So I really want to thank those two and give them a huge shout out, as well as Dr. Patsy Tito and Sylvia Sellinger. We have a dream team here. We have a hit squad. And I'm so thankful for all of these ladies just always answering the call. When I call them up and needing this and needing that and having this vision, that vision, and them trying to, just supporting me through and helping me get to where we need to be. I don't think we're there yet. We have a lot of things in the plans and in the works. But I'm thankful. I'm thankful to our funders as well. We got DPH, DCYF, and Soda Tax. Dream Keepers, they're another huge funder of AMU. So we're just thankful for all these opportunities. We're blessed. I never thought that, when my husband passed away and took his last breath, I didn't think anything good would come from that. But taking that grief and just trying to support as many as we could along the way has turned into what we are today. And I hope to, even when I'm not here anymore, I hope that AMU is still here supporting our community in ways that usually or normally they wouldn't get this type of support elsewhere. So thank you.
Well, thank you. And for Tina and Jessica, just know that in our first show, she didn't speak at all. She did not speak at all. Then they came back for another show, and JT made her get in the chair in front of the microphone and refused to get off the couch to come help her. She's like, babe, I don't know. And he was like adamant that she was going to be comfortable speaking, and to see how far you've come, Cree, and how far you've brought the organization. You're an inspiration. The community sees you and all the work that AMU's doing. We appreciate you. Live and direct to JT up in the sky. Your girl's doing you proud. AMU is alive and well and growing. Thank you so much for everybody out there. Famalosi. Check out AMU's social media. This, I believe, is in March. It is free, but it will fill up. And if you don't get in, you're going to miss out. Go check them out on all social media platforms. Ladies, thank you so much. And anytime you want to come back on, you know our heart's always open for AMU. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.